Hello, this is Kuntal Chakraborty, Assistant Professor of Electrical Engineering Department, Greater Kolkata College of Engineering and Management, JIS Group. I am just going to give a lecture on an important topic, that is the interrupts of 8051 microcontroller. First, I will try to explain the interrupt procedure of 8051 microcontroller. Basically, an interrupt is an external event that disturbs the microcontroller to inform it that a device needs its service. Means whenever microcontroller is performing a task, at that time peripheral device may ask to perform any task by using 8051 microcontroller. So at that time the microcontroller finishes its current operation and it will give the access of the peripheral device to perform any task by using 8051 microcontroller. And after completion of the peripheral device's task, again microcontroller will start its previous operations. So that is a procedure. I am just going to explain it elaborately. After receiving the interrupt signal, the microcontroller finishes its current instructions and it saves the address of the program counter onto the stack. And then it will jump to a particular location where the ISR is written, means interrupt service routine is written. Basically, after performing the ISR or the interrupt procedure, then it will again it will back to its previous position, and that is done by a instruction that is called RETI. So basically, when the RETI is introduced, at that time the address of the stack that will be popped from the stack and that will be placed into the address bus so that the previous operation may be started again from its previous position. So that is the interrupt procedure by which the microcontroller that can be interrupted by any kind of peripheral devices. So next I am just going to discuss the ISR. Now, what is interrupt service routine or ISR? ISR is nothing but a piece of code which will be executed in case of microcontroller encounters an interrupt during its operations. Means ISR or interrupt service routine is nothing but a program or code that is written into a particular location. So basically the ISR is nothing but a program that is basically the interrupt procedure that is written into interrupt program that is written into a particular location. So after the interruption, this program that will be executed by the microcontroller. So this code is called the ISR or interrupt service routine. Next is a polling, which is what is polling? In systems where more external logic circuits communicate through multiple interconnections with a single microcontroller, polling is used. Means whenever a lot of hardware is connected with a single microcontroller, at that time polling is basically used. Means the microcontroller periodically calls each external devices to check whether it has any request or not. So if external logic circuits does not require any servicing, so the microcontroller examines the next external logic circuits. So if one of them requires servicing, the microcontroller switches to running the servicing program of the specific external logic circuitry. So that is the polling procedure, but basically the polling procedure is every time it will check periodically whether there is any external request from the external devices or not. If there is any request, then it will basically service its request, and if there is no request from any hardware device, then it will check another hardware device has any request or not. So that is a polling. Next, the difference between the polling and interrupt. In case of polling, a cyclic reading of devices connected to the CPU is done. If the external logic circuit does not require servicing, the microcomputer examines the next external logic circuits. If one of them requires servicing, the microcomputer switches to running the program to serve the respective external logic circuits. Means it will cyclically try to find out whether there is any service request from hardware device or not. If there is any hardware devices, any request is there, and due to the request, then the microcontroller will try to service this request, and if there is no request from a hardware, then it will try to find out the next hardware whether it has any request or not. So that is the polling. And when the interrupt occurred, basically at the request of the external logic came from into the microcontroller. So microcontroller basically stop its current operations, and it will give the access to the device to perform their task. So basically the interrupted structure allows the microprocessor or microcontroller to respond to the synchronous events. That is a request from the external logic, not to wait in the loop to examine the state of external logic circuit. So that is the difference between the polling and the basic difference between the polling and interrupts. So again, I am just going to explain the difference between polling and interrupts elaborately. So in case of interrupt, the device notices the CPU that if requires its attention, whereas in polling, CPU steadily checks whether the device needs attention. In case of interrupt, an interrupt is not a protocol, it's a hardware mechanism, whereas it isn't a hardware mechanism, it's a protocol. It will actually continuously try to check, cyclically it will check whether there is any hardware request or not. And interrupt, in case of interrupt, and in interrupt, the device is serviced by interrupt handler or ISR, while in case of polling, the device is serviced directly by the CPU. Interrupt can take place at any time, whereas CPU steadily ballots the device at regular or proper interval. It will try to find out in proper interval. So in case of interrupt, interrupt request lines is used as indication for indicating that device request servicing. Whereas in case of polling, command ready bit is used to indication for indicating the device requires servicing. In case of interrupt, processor is simply disturbed once any device interrupts it. In case of polling, on the opposite side, processor wastes countless processor cycles by repeatedly checking the command ready little bit of each device. In case of interrupt, the device notices the CPU that it requires its attention, whereas in case of polling, the CPU steadily checks whether the device needs attention. So these are the differences between the polling and interrupts. Now basically 8051 microcontroller has 5 interrupts, that is timer 0 overflow interrupt, that is TF0, and the timer 1 overflow interrupt, that is TF1, external hardware interrupt, that is INT1, and serial communication interrupt R1/T1. So these are the interrupts 8051 microcontroller has. And next, this is the priority of 8051 microcontroller that is set by the 8051 microcontroller. When the IE register is reset, means when the IP register is reset, means IP register is not used. So this is the interrupt priority. External interrupt 0 has the highest priority, then the timer counter 0, then external interrupt 1, and then timer counter 1, then finally the lowest priority has for the serial port and the serial communication. Here we have the addresses, that is the vectored addresses of this particular interrupts. For the external interrupt 0, 0003H. For the timer counter 0, that is 000BH. For external interrupt 1, that is 0013H. Timer counter 1, that is 001BH, and serial port 0023H. Next, the interrupt enable registers. Basically, this is used to enable the interrupt procedure or to enable the interrupts. IE register is used. after resetting all the interrupts, basically the interrupts are disabled. At that time we need the IE register to enable it again. These interrupts must be enabled by software in order for the microcontroller to respond them, and this is done by using this 8-bit register, that is IE register. Here we have EA. Basically EA, by using EA we can enable and disable the interrupt. If we write 1 here, then all the interrupts are enabled. If it is 0, then all the interrupts are disabled. So here we have EX0. By writing 1 here we can enable the EX0, as well as by writing 0 here we can disable the external interrupt 0. Similarly we have ET0. Here we have ET0, that is the external timer 0. Interrupt timer 0, that is we can enable it by using writing 1 here, or we can disable that external timer 0 interrupt by writing 0 here. And this one is a external interrupt 1. We can enable and disable it by writing 1 and 0 to it. Similarly we have ET1, that is the timer 1 interrupt, where we can write 0 and 1 to disable and enable the interrupt timer 1. And here we have ES. Basically this is used for the enable and disable the serial port interrupt. We can write 0 and 1 to disable and enable the serial interrupt. And ET2, that is the enable or disable, that is used to enable and disable the timer 2 overflow flag, and we can write 0 here to disable this ET2, or we can write 1 to enable it. So that is the important register by which we can enable and disable all the interrupts. And finally, by using this bit, EA bit, that is the number 7 bit, we can enable all the interrupts as well as disable all the interrupts by writing 1 and 0 to it. So next is the IP register by which we can change the interrupt of the priority of the interrupt of these 5 interrupts. So by resetting the IP, basically we can get the interrupt priority by using this manner. So external interrupt 0 has the highest priority, timer interrupt 0 has next its priority, and next priority has for the external interrupt 1, then timer interrupt 1, and finally the lowest priority has for the serial communication. So that interrupt that can be changed by using the IP register. Here PT2 means here the PT2 is for the timer interrupt, and this is basically timer 2 interrupt. This is basically the priority of 8052 only. So we are actually discussing for the 8051 microcontroller. So here it is not used, but in case of PS basically used for the serial port interrupt priority. If we write 1 here, then its priority that will be highest. If it is if we write 0 here, then its priority that will be lowest. Similarly, in case of PT1, that is a timer 1, if we write 1 here, then its priority that will be highest, and if we write 0 here, then its priority that will be lowest. Similarly for PX1, and that is for the external interrupt 1, if we write 1 here, then its priority that will be highest, and if it is 0, then its priority will be lowest. And for the timer 0, if we write 1 here, then the for timer 0 overflow flag that will be set as highest priority, and if we write 0 here, then that will be used as the lowest priority. And PX0, that is for the external interrupt 0, if we write 1 here, then its priority will be highest. If it is 0, then its priority will be lowest. So by using 1 and 0, we can select its priority as highest as well as lowest. So the interrupt priority that can be selected by using this register, IP register. So here IP 0.7 and IP 6.6 that is reserved, that is not used. So that is the IP register by which the interrupt interrupt priority that can be changed. Now 8051 microcontroller interrupts basically classified into two categories. One is a hardware interrupt and next one is a software interrupt. External interrupt 0 and external interrupt 1 are the hardware interrupts, whereas timer interrupt 0, timer interrupt 1 and serial communication interrupt, these three interrupts are the software interrupts. And these are the hardware and software interrupts of 8051 microcontroller. Next, we have a question that what is the minimum duration for which the INT0 or INT1 pin must be held low for interrupt to be activated. Means we know that INT0 and INT1 is a active low signal required to activate the interrupt through these pins. So that's why the pins must be held low until the start of the execution of the ISR. Once the execution of ISR started, then the pin it may be high again. So actually we need 4 machine cycles minimum duration to start the interrupt procedure. So next another question we have, that is we can how can we make sure that a single interrupt is not interrupted as multiple interrupt. So the low level of INT0 or INT1 pin be brought back to high before the execution of RETI. Means before return the INT0 and INT1 that will be placed as high. Otherwise that will behave like an interrupt again. So that's why we have to move it back to its high position, so that the multiple interrupt that cannot be occurred. So that is the procedure by which the multiple interrupt that can be restricted. Next we have a problem and the program which is related to the interrupt. Say INT0 pin is connected to a switch which is normally high. Whenever it goes low, it should turn on an LED. The LED is connected to P2.0 and is normally off. When it is turned on, it should stay on for a fraction of a second. As long as the switch is pressed low, the LED should stay on. So basically here we have the ISR routine. We are seeing that that is started from the address of 0013H. And basically it set B after getting the interrupt into the INT0 bar. It will set the P2.0 as to turn on the LED. So set B P2.0 means the turn on LED. Then we have to give a delay. So this is 2 lines basically provides us some delay. That is MOV R3 has 255. So we will set a counter as we will write 255 into R3 and DJNZ R3 back, and that will basically give us keep the LED for a while, means we will get it as on, and then we will clear it by means we have to write CLR P2.0 to clear the LED, to off the LED. Then RETI, that is a return instruction by which again it can return into its previous position and microcontroller can perform their task again. And as we know before returning we have to enable the external interrupt again. So that's why to enabling the external interrupt we have to write 10000001B to enable the external INT0. So basically if we see the IE register, so this is the IE register, we have to write 1 here, and external interrupt 0 we are using, that's why we have to write 1 here to enable the interrupt. So here that is used here in the program, that is IE has 10000001B. So that is used to enable the external INT0. So that is a program by which basically we are seeing the interrupt procedure and interrupt service routine, how it is performed. So these I already discussed the interrupt procedure, classification, interrupt priority, and how the interrupt priority may be changed by using the IP registers, and how the interrupts can be enabled and disabled by using the IE registers. So, and in-service routine polling and the difference between the polling and interrupts. And I already discussed the interrupt procedure and the polling procedure. So that's all, and that is the interrupt of 8051 microcontroller. Thank you.